Hello, good people, and welcome to Happy, Healthy, Whole with Sharea. I'm Sharea, and today I am going to close out our series on who we're talking about when we're talking about they. And today I'm going to talk about regaining the power from they. And what I thought about this was I really wanted us to think about how we can take actions in our own lives to regain that power around giving others the permission to somewhat make us feel bad and or to allow ourselves to see that really those opinions may not matter as much as we actually would they may not matter actually as much as we think. And so, like I've always said, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Also, if you like this video or any of our videos, please share with someone who can benefit from it. So regaining your power from they involves cultivating a strong sense of self and setting boundaries. You've heard me talk about both of those things in a number of different ways. This allows us to prioritize our own values and needs first when we are assessing situations around how we might be judged, how our reputation or image is impacted. And so I think it's important to remember that, yes, there are some needs for us to identify who they are before we actually even go into these tips around changing our thinking. But we first need to identify your value, which is tip number one. Clarify what matters most to you. Knowing your values can help you to make decisions that align with your image and your reputation and your true self rather than being sort of swayed by other people's opinions or thoughts on a matter. Set boundaries. Engage in boundary setting. Establish clear boundaries with people in your life. So that means I'm going to have to define who they are. Let them know what is acceptable and what isn't. This helps to protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. So really set boundaries. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. If you don't hear anything else, be kind to yourself. Recognize that it's okay to make mistakes. Sometimes you're going to live and you're going to learn. Other times you're going to watch and practice and it gets perfect or perfection comes from it. It doesn't matter, but you have to be okay with the fact that perfection isn't a guarantee and mistakes doesn't make you a mistake. You are worthy of respect and love no matter what. That is the truth. Now, I do believe you got to treat people with kindness as well. So we can't just be out here acting a fool and think that everyone should teach us or treat us some type of queen or put us on a pedestal when our behaviors are negative. So I just want to clarify that portion a little bit. Seek internal validation. Understand that focusing on validating yourself rather than seeking approval from others. Trust your judgment. Learn to trust your decisions and give yourself credit for your accomplishments. What did you decide that was right? Right? If you can make a good decision in the past, you can make a good decision in the future. Limit your exposure to negative influences. I am no longer on social media more than 3 days a week. I don't care what I'm missing. It's not the end of the world for me. The reality is that reducing time spent with people or energy from the world with things that are constantly criticizing and negative or bringing us down, we can take a break from. Start to surround yourself with supportive and positive individuals, really even curating your social media to be able to do so. That doesn't mean that everything got to be crystal roses, but it does need to be a balance or harmony within even your social media, your lifestyle with your family, your colleagues, your workplace. All of those things are deserving of some form of balance around that negative exposure only. If we only take in negative, eventually what we get out is negative. Develop self-awareness. Do not pretend like you're not going to make mistakes. Do not pretend like you are not human enough to do something wrong or to have a negative behavior. Reflect on these feelings and your behaviors. Understand why you might be giving so much power to others because of your own self-reflection or identity that you still may need to address or have areas that you may need to address that are about underlying issues that I can't get into today, but really do that self-reflection and that self-work and do it within your community as well. Like identify who you are, support them, make sure that you are being able to be the positive influence that says that it's not a judgment. be what you want and how you want to encounter people and places around the areas you want positive in. Practice assertiveness. Learn to communicate your needs. I'm always baffled when people may say that I'm either direct or mean, when it's not that I'm direct or mean. I'm actually just very clear on my boundaries, as well as I'm sure and confident that I deserve a level of respect. And as a result, I will make sure that I'm expressing my needs and my opinions. You may not agree with them. However, I still have a right to them. Embrace your authentic self. Whatever that is, celebrate your uniqueness and be true to yourself. Authenticity attracts genuine connections and repels those who are not aligned with your values. So if I spend so much time on they and thinking about the negative, and I don't really embrace who I am and what I am, and do it with no judgment and do it with that self compassion that I talk about, then I'm going to lose an opportunity to gain the community I wish to be a part of. Mindfulness and meditation. So we've talked about mindfulness in great detail before, but really practicing mindfulness to stay present and to connect with your inner self as you're going through your life journey. Meditate on what is good and what has helped you. Meditation can help reduce your anxiety and improve your self-awareness because you have time to sit, reflect, and be still. Personal growth. As we said before, there are consequences no matter how we look at it when it comes to they. There are some people, if we looked at their value in our lives, they matter. And we want them to have, we want some of their approval. But understand, in exchange for that, we have to engage in activities that promote our personal development, which means that we have to do things that will make us our best self because we may not know it naturally. And sometimes it helps us to be more reflective when we are engaging in this self work. Focus on what you can control. You've heard this a million and one times. People talk about it all the time, but accepting that you can't control others' opinions and reactions is a very, very valuable tool. Focus on what you can control, such as your actions, responses, and attitudes, which means that there's going to be things that I say that people don't like. There are people who will write comments and statements that will tell me all kinds of what's wrong with me, what's the problem I have with talking about Blackness. Thank you for your input, but it holds no value in how I see myself and my community because I have a purpose that I've already established by my clear expectations of self and community. So then it doesn't even bother me when I'm like, oh, somebody said something negative, delete, one word response. And those usually are for one word responses related to you can unfollow, you can unsubscribe, you can whatever it is, because I'm not going to put enough give them enough power for them to determine my identity and my self-worth related to giving and impacting. And then last but not least, I'm a therapist by trade, so you know I'm going to say this one. If this is something you're struggling with related to giving away your power in almost any area, but around the opinions of others, specifically they, I would say if you find it challenging to do this or to regain your own power, consider seeking someone to talk about it with so that they can help you to do that self-reflection that I talked about earlier around getting to what is the core issues that's causing so much weight on the external validation versus internal. They can provide guidance, strategies that are very specifically tailored to your situation. By implementing even just one of these strategies, you are giving yourself a break from all the judgment, from all the pain that comes from they that we give them power for. You can start to reclaim your power right now and live a life that is more aligned with your true self, your true identity, your authentic self, and your personal values. I hope you've gotten something from this series. Stop giving away our power. They are only as powerful as we let them or as powerful as we make them. And so I give you permission to start considering that you are your voice of reason. All right, y'all, take care. Be well.